Hello guys, welcome to Football Fan Den UK. Hope you guys are having a smashing day. Today's video is with regards to Bury and Bolton. We're going to talk about the state of the two clubs that are still in crisis. So before we get started, guys, it'd be very much appreciated if you've watched any of the other videos of Football Fan Den UK and you're liking what you're seeing. It'd be very much appreciated if you can like, share and definitely subscribe, because that is the best way you can help the channel going forward. So yeah, guys, hopefully you have been watching the previous videos and you are liking what you're seeing. Because the aim of the channel is to bring fans together for the love of the game, and basically to try and keep you guys informed of all football news with regards to UK clubs as best we possibly can, and debate key issues that we feel that other fan channels and the mainstream media might not actually be covering. We will cover some of what they're covering, obviously. I'm no disrespect to them guys. What they're doing is great. But the Football Fan Den UK is designed to talk about talk about things from a fan's point of view, and also talk about particular football topics that I personally feel, and hopefully you guys personally feel, that some of the other organisations within football that debate and discuss football topics don't always give good coverage or have a fair assessment of it. So yeah, guys. So yeah, today we're here to talk about Bury and Bolton with regards to their season going forward and what is going on with these clubs, because as we spoke last week about Bolton, I think I did touch on Bury a little bit, but that was only because it looked like Bury was in the clear. So today we're going to quickly run over Bury and the state of affairs at Bury, and then we will get to Bolton. So it would appear that both clubs were given until 5 p.m. last night to prove financial stability for the club, that finances were in place for the club going forward into the new season, and that the owners had the relevant funds to fund the club over the next 12 to 18 months. It would appear that both clubs actually failed that deadline. With regards to Bury, apparently, as I understand it, that they didn't actually officially go into administration, and the reason for that was because the new owner that is not actually, I don't know if he's actually took control of the club, but reports are suggesting that he's not actually got control of the club yet. But the owner did fill in what is called a CVA, and I believe that is stands for Company Voluntary Arrangement, to pay off creditors that have prevented them going into administration. That's what the CVA is with regards to. So the new owner has basically filled in this CVA form, or forms, whatever it is, to show that he's got the funds to pay off any outstanding bills, and also to cover finances of the club going forward, and that is what stopped Bury going into administration. Now apparently, when a club or an owner fills in this form, it still counts as administration in the eyes of the FA. So therefore the FA will still give the club a 12-point deduction, which is yet again highlights what we talked about in a previous video about the FA not helping clubs, just looking to punish them and basically make matters worse. Now, I've mentioned it in a previous video. In my opinion, that sort of thing should be a suspended points deduction. In my opinion, guys, I think that the FA well within the rights to punish a club for getting in a mess, shall we say. But they need to look at the bigger picture. They need to not just be judgmental and say, oh, well, Bury got themselves in a mess, so let's punish them. Because it's not the club and the fans, it's not the employees and the staff and the groundsmen, it's the owners. It's the people on the board and the owners that get the clubs in a mess. So why are they not punishing them? Why are they punishing the football club? But anyway, guys, I'm not going to get into a rant about it today. My aim today is just to bring you guys up to spec with what's going on with both Bury and Bolton. So yeah, as I said, both clubs failed that deadline. So because of that, Bury have now had their first game of the season against MK Dons suspended. So that game will not be going ahead for Bury, and it will probably mean that MK Dons get the 3 points automatically. I believe if I'm correct, if a club fails to be able to turn up or be able to field a team, it means the opposition team automatically get the 3 points, and I think it goes down as a 3-0 win or something stupid like that, which is just, you know, just not right, is it, for every club that's in that league, really, because it's meaning that club that's playing. Because if Bury failed to field a team for that game, and that's the only game they failed to field a team for throughout the whole season, that means that the club that's played them, or should have played them, has gained a massive advantage, because they've got 3 easy points without even playing a fixture. And that doesn't just punish Bury, it punishes every other club in the league, because every other club might have to play Bury and they might not get the 3 points. So anyway, the point is, guys, that I think that particular issue is something that maybe we'll talk about a bit further down the line at some other point. But yet again, shows the level of incompetency, as far as I'm concerned, with regards to the bosses of the FA and how they manage these situations. Now, guys, so apparently with regards to this CVA, the CVA is basically, as I understand it, a preliminary thing. So basically, as it stands, Bury and both Bolton as well, but particularly Bury, have to prove the finances. The owner has to prove the finances, that he's got the finances to fund the club going forward over the next 12 months. And he's failed to do that, or she has failed to do that. I'm not sure if it's a guy or a lady. I cannot find enough information at the minute, guys. I've been doing plenty of research to try and bring you guys the relevant information with regards to both Bury and Bolton. But unfortunately, guys, the reports are very conflicting at the minute, because there is one media saying this, another media saying that, report saying this, report saying that. So it's very confusing to actually sift through it and get actual hardcore facts, because a lot of it is speculation, rumours, and obviously everybody's having their say on the matter, so it makes it very hard to sift through to the actual facts, guys. As I say, with regards to Bury, it's not looking good with regards to the financial situation of this new owner. Hopefully things will improve. Another bit of information to give you: apparently this weekend the fans are planning a protest with regards to the owner and the board to voice their concerns. The Football Fan Den UK supports the fans with that. As long as you guys stay within the law, don't go and do anything stupid, fine, go to the protest, make your voice heard, but keep it within the law, because we don't want you guys getting yourself into bother with regards to crossing any lines that might get you arrested or get you in bother with relation to the rules regarding a public protest. But yeah, guys, hopefully you guys will actually get your voices heard. We're right behind you with that. We want to see fans getting their voice heard and being shown a bit more respect, in fact a lot more respect, from owners and football clubs alike. So yeah, guys, the best of luck with that. As I said, make sure if you are going to that protest for Bury, that you stay within the boundaries of the law, so you don't get yourselves in bother. So now, guys, let's move on to Bolton. Now, Bolton, in a similar situation, their owners have failed to prove funds up until last night. They had the same 5 p.m. deadline, failed to meet that deadline, but it would appear the PFA have stepped in to help Bolton. And the issue, what seems to be the issue that's causing the problem with regards to Bolton's new owners, is with relation to the players that have left the club and staff that have left the club during this crisis. Now, as I understand it, this is the reports and the information that I've been able to gather for you guys. This is the situation. Basically, Bolton's new potential owners are willing to pay the wages of existing players and staff, but they are not prepared to pay the full wages of staff and players that have left. They are only prepared to pay 20% to them players and staff that have left. Now, as I say, I'm not sure exactly how accurate this information is, because it's become very clear that it's difficult sifting through the relevant reports with regards to what's going on at both Bury and Bolton. But what I can tell you is that it would appear that this is the issue that is holding things up for Bolton. As I understand it, Bolton's new owners do not want to pay in full the wages and money that is owed to players and staff that have left the club already. They wish to pay 20% up front to them players and staff that have left, and the rest they intend to pay over a 2-year period, as I understand it. Now, that might change. There might be more information out there with relation to this. I haven't been able to find none, but what I have found up to now, guys, is that what I've just told you. It would appear that that is the issue. That is the sticking point, that these owners are not willing to pay the staff and players that have left their full wages up front. They want to pay 20% up front and the rest over a 2-year period. Now, as I understand it, the PFA have stepped in with a £2 million loan to pay off the players and staff that have left, and then the owners or the club will have to pay this loan back, which is not great in my opinion, guys, because that means that basically these new owners could take over the club and start off with a £2 million debt, which is just, it beggars belief, guys. It absolutely beggars belief. After the crisis that Bolton have gone through over the last few years, with owing money left, right and centre, how does it make any logical sense to allow a new owner to take over and immediately lumber the club with a £2 million debt? Because they will not, pay the necessary costs that come with owning a club. This is where the FA, yet again, should be stepping in and saying, no, you want to own this football club, you pay all relevant bills. That is what comes with it. Otherwise, you're not allowed to own it. And that should be the case for every football club throughout the UK. Owners should not be able to come in, take over a club, pick and choose what they do and what they don't pay. Because if they do that, the club just basically is going to end up in another mess, another crisis further down the line, whether it be 12 months, 2 years, 3 years, or whatever it is, guys. It's basically setting the club up for another fall. And this is, as I say, as far as I'm concerned, this is where the FA are an absolute disgrace. Because how is it that the PFA, which is the Players Football Association, is stepping in, loaning Bolton £2 million? The Players Football Association is supposed to be there for players. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a very, very positive thing for Bolton as a club going forward that somebody is prepared to step up with some cash to help the club survive. But it's the wrong people that's stepping up. It should not be down to the Players Football Association to step up, or Football Authority, or whatever they're called, to step up for providing funds for a club going forward. That could start an absolute trend of that's not positive for UK football. So the question has to be asked yet again: what are the FA doing? Because they are not monitoring this situation. Well, they might be monitoring it, but they're not doing nothing constructive in relation to helping Bolton as a club survive and get the correct owners in place for the club moving forward. It seems an absolute mess. And yet again, I'm confused, guys, because last week it was positive what was coming out of Bolton. It looked like the clubs were imminent to take over, and we are now finding that yet again we have another potential owner bickering and trying to pick and choose what financial situation or what financial costs they're prepared to take on board and what financial costs that they're not. It should be simple. Whatever financial issues the club has, that the club has to deal with, that's once the owners take over, that's for the owners to take on as well. You know, you cannot pick and choose what bills you pay. It's like you guys at home saying, well, I'm going to pay the rent, but I'm not going to pay the electric bill. It don't work like that. You know, guys, it's just crazy. It's as simple as that, guys. It's crazy that these sort of things are allowed to come about. Now, the administrators for Bolton have picked these potential new owners because they were supposed to be the best potential owners that bidded on the club, because as I understand it, there was a meeting or of some description with relation to owners potentially bidding on taking over the club, and the administrators have picked out these potential owners as the best ones to take over the club going forward. And immediately before they take over the club, they are arguing about money and what they should and shouldn't pay. And it just should not be allowed. We're not going to cover it anymore, guys. We're just going to nip it in the bud now, because basically I think that it speaks for itself, guys. They should take on all the responsibilities of the club. Present players and staff and previous players and staff. If the club owe their players and staff money that have played for the club or that have represented the club in some capacity, and their wages have not been fulfilled and not been paid, then new owners coming in should have to take on that burden. Well, it's as simple as that. And if they're not prepared to take on that burden, they shouldn't be allowed to own the football club. Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm a Bolton fan. I want to see the club saved. I desperately want. I'm devastated at the thought of Bolton not being a club and not existing any longer. That really does get me right there in the heart. Do you know what I mean? But we need positive owners. We do not need another bunch of cowboys. We need owners that are prepared to, walk the walk, shall we say. And it's just crazy, guys. So Bolton are in a position to, because of this PFA stepping in with this £2 million, it has basically saved Bolton from having their first fixture cancelled or postponed or whatever it is, which means that Bolton are allowed to play their first game against Wycombe, and that game will be played as normal, basically. Now, the problem with that, guys, is that we haven't got a full team. So we are going into the start of the season with a fixture upon us and not a full team to put out. So basically, what Bolton are probably going to end up doing is using the few players that the team has got, because as I discussed in the last video, Bolton are down to 7 senior players, 2 of which are goalkeepers and 2 of which are looking to get out of the club as well. So basically, they're going to use them 7 players, and they're going to fill the rest of the team with youngsters, academy players, basically players that they can grab from anywhere within the pyramid of the Bolton setup. So we could see a bit of a mishmash team taking to the field against Wycombe. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm all for youngsters and academy players getting into the team, but not because they're forced into the team when they're not ready. They need to be put into the team when they're ready, when the club feels that it's the right time and the right, the right move to make. Not because the club ain't able to field a proper team. So basically, if these new owners don't pull their finger out and get the club taken over fast, basically Bolton could end up going through the whole season playing games with academy players, because we haven't got a full team. We just, there isn't going to be time before the transfer window shuts to get players in, other than maybe any players that are free and available that obviously the club are going to get. But that will just mean that basically Bolton just chuck whatever players into the squad that they can get their hands on and try and knock out a team together, which could mean we could end up with 10 defenders and only 1 striker. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but that could be how it ends up. That's just one example of how crazy the situation with the Bolton team is. So yeah, guys, I think I've covered all the news that I can bring you with regards to Bolton and Bury. I just thought I'd do a quick video to bring you guys up to spec with where the clubs are at. Both clubs still not with an owner and still in crisis situation. Let's just hope that this gets sorted rather fast and that we can bring you some positive news for both clubs going forward over the next week or so. But for now, guys, that's the best I can do for you. If there is any more news, I will bring it to you. I will do another video so that I can keep you guys in the loop with what's going on, because I think we need to cover these clubs until basically they are back on a positive footing like every other club within the Football League and the Scottish League. Because as long as they're in turmoil, as I've said before, any club that's in this kind of situation, we will try and do videos with regards to it and bring it to the attention to that club, because it is needed. As football lovers, we should all want to, see clubs saved, because you might not support that club, but that club, the more clubs we lose through this kind of stuff, the less clubs there is for your club to play. So yeah, guys, and as I say, I think I've covered everything. If you've liked the video, please take the time to like, share and subscribe. That would be very much appreciated. The best way you can support the channel going forward. As I've said, if I can bring you any more news with regards to Bury and Bolton, I will certainly do that. Okay, guys, thanks for taking the time to watch the video. Hopefully you'll join me on the next one. Take care for now and goodbye.